Now, that's a very important thing you brought up with what people say they're doing versus what they're actually doing,
Yeah.
and how that could influence their ability to come back and do it the next day. Like, oh, I can recover from that. But did you, did you actually train all the way to your maximum ability, i.e., momentary muscular failure, whether it's concentrically or eccentrically or even isometrically, if you're going that far with it, right? Because you said you'd even do force reps, and then you'd maybe even do some negatives, and you know how long does that take to recover from? And then you miss out on some of those other variables that you mentioned there.
Yeah, I tried everything. I mean, if you were to ask me about any type of training method, I've probably experimented with it. And when I went down the HIIT rabbit hole, what I learned was, according to what I had read and consumed over the years, if I wasn't getting the results, it's because I wasn't training hard enough. But the thing is, I was already going in there training harder than my recovery abilities. And everyone, online in the books, the things I read, I actually have, it's funny we're talking about it. I have Mike Mentzer's book right here.
Yes.
And he literally spoke about in that book, it's not even about hitting failure where you can't do another rep. You have to do negatives. You have to do isometric holds. You have to do everything until you literally can't even hold the weight anymore. And like you said, that's talking about a whole nother level of recovery that comes with that style of training. But yeah, I mean, most people, their perception of what failure is very different than the other person. So it's very hard when you talk to somebody and they'll say, you have to take every set to failure. People tell me this all the time. They'll say, if you don't take every set to failure, what did you do in the gym? Somebody actually watched one of my training videos recently, and they said, wow, I'm very surprised that you put that weight down way before failure. I train with roughly 1 to 2 reps left in the tank on most exercise, just as an average. But to somebody else, that looks like I'm training way shy of failure. But, obviously I know my body after doing this for as many years as I have. I can gauge, my reps in reserve. And what actually feels like 1 or 2 reps in reserve, to somebody else looking at that might think it's more, based on how they train or their perception of what failure actually is. So it's very hard when you look at a program or talk about it online and you prescribe go to failure or go 1 rep shy of failure. It's fairly hard to, it's a little bit different for everybody. It's a little bit different depending on the movement as well. People talk about going to failure and they say you should do, a set of preacher curls to failure. You should also do a set of barbell squat to failure. Most people are not doing a barbell squat to failure, even if they say they are. They're still probably training with 1 or 2 reps in the tank, calling it failure, just for safety reasons. Most people aren't doing it. I think the value in high intensity training is absolutely learning how to push your body to its limits, because obviously, like I said, hard work is always going to be the prerequisite, and you're going to make progress training hard, provided that you can recover, come back and do it again.